Okay, now we're recording and I'm going to do another introduction because I blew the first one. I'm Myra Goldick, the Never Say Impossible lady from Never Say Impossible Radio, coming to you on Blab today. And if you don't know what we do at Never Say Impossible, we share important information that can enrich your life in some way. We bring you guests that will blow your socks off and tell you how to do things and invite you to events and just inform you. I have a fabulous guest today. She is one of the best networkers I have ever met in my life. She is so motivated and so full of energy, you are going to be surprised. She has spent 25 years in law enforcement, and now that's not enough for her. She's going to tell you exactly what she's doing, how she's building another business, which is fantastic, and how she puts on these exciting events that can help you find your way, make decisions about your business, your social media networking, and so forth. So Patricia, come on in and tell everybody what you're doing.
Well, hello, Myra. How are you? And how's everybody?
That you're here.
Oh, good. Absolutely. Yes. Hello to the audience, those of you who are listening. My name is Pat Rogers. And as Myra said, I'm currently working for the Department of Corrections, and I will be retiring in June 2016 after 29 years of service in law enforcement. Currently, I run the midnight shift at the Stockade for those of you who are in Miami. And I currently run that shift, and I have 4 more months. I will be out, off, and running. So I'm so grateful for that. And being that I know that I was going to retire, I decided about 3 years ago I had best get myself prepared. Why is that? That's because during my tenure with the department, I have seen many people leave after retiring and leave to come back. And I never could understand why would they leave to come back, or they would leave and go work somewhere else. And with the benefits that we have in our organization, Miami-Dade County, the benefits that we have are so awesome and so huge that I just never could understand why would I leave this job and go work somewhere else when I can stay where I am, know what I'm getting, and of course reap the benefits. So I learned from what other people was doing, and I said I had better be prepared. And that's when someone introduced a service to me called LegalShield. For me, it was an aha moment. Why? Because during my 29 years with the organization, I've had my challenges, and I've had situations come up in the workplace that I've had to obtain an attorney. And of course, not so much that they knew more than me. I knew the rules of the game, but I had to deliver those rules to them so that they be quiet, because most times, all the time really, people don't see the individual. When it comes down to legal issues and our rights being violated, whether it's taking our car to the shop, whether it's identity theft issues, whether it's mortgage protection, different things going wrong with the mortgage, refi, or whatever, the bottom line is we need attorneys. We need attorneys even if we want to sign off on a document. Sometimes we sign a document that we really shouldn't have signed, and then we find out later it was a fine print that, like they say, the bold print giveth, but the fine print taketh away. So due to the fact that I've had to use legal services from attorneys during my lifetime, I knew when I heard about LegalShield, it was an aha moment. Why? Because it was there was no retainer fee, huge retainer fee, and there was no $200, $300 hourly cost. It was just a small amount for a month. Here in Florida, $17 in other states, it was $19.95, under $20. And I'm like, you know what? This is what not only do I need, and it gives me access to attorneys just to ask a question. They're there. And in every state, 49 states, including Canada. And when I realized that, I'm like, this is what the people need. And I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy giving people good information. And I just thought that it was something that I could do in my retirement, not so much so that I was going to rocket into a new dimension with being a millionaire, but it's possible that, don't get me wrong, but because I do not want to sit home idle when I know that all of the years that I've invested in the organization and in the people, I knew that I have to serve. So I had to find something that would allow me to service the people, the public, and be excited about it, enjoy it, while at the same time enhancing my own lifestyle. Did I answer your question?
Yes, you definitely did. And I have to tell you something funny. When I got back into my office this afternoon, I got a LegalShield notice saying credit check. So I immediately went on to find out what was going on, what I did not know. And this is how valuable their service is. My husband was thinking about refinancing, and he had called a mortgage company, and the mortgage company did a check on my credit.
Yeah.
But it did let me know that, because it could have been fraudulent, and it wasn't. So that's how valuable LegalShield is. And right then and there, I knew that I had been looked at. And I wanted to know who looked at it, because my husband wasn't home. So I've had really good experience with LegalShield for personal reasons, as you said, business reasons. And you're amazing. You really built your business in a year, and you're like raising hell.
Yes, yes, yes.
So tell us about your event.
Oh, the event. Let me tell you about the event. What drove me to the events, and that's awesome, is the fact that when I started doing LegalShield, what I've realized, and you said I've been doing it for a year, man. It seems like a year, but it's been about 2 years now, Myra. But you know what? You're right. I have built it tremendously within 2 years. And I just, like I said, but what took me to the events was LegalShield. And what I realized as an entrepreneur was, in order for me to grow my business, I have to stay in front of audiences. I have to stay in front of lots of audiences. And from that, I was going to a lot of networking events. I was paying monies to put my table up, to market my services, just to really educate, because I don't really sell my memberships at an event. I basically educate, and I have to give the families time to look at the information, give the business owners, the small business owner has to have time to look at those plans from the information that I distribute at events. But it came to me one day, you know what, you can host your own events. So I actually started doing these events about 2 years ago in my backyard. And I just started doing them in my backyard. I would invite entrepreneurs to come out. I would have a fish fry or whatever the case is. I would provide food, put up my tables, order tables and tents and balloons. And we just had a ball. And I would allow all of the entrepreneurs to get up there on my little tiki stage in the backyard with the microphone. I mean, we really took it to a good level. And they would all express what they did and how they did it and whatever. So basically what I learned is that the entrepreneur, when they go to these networking events, they want to be heard. They want to be heard. Just to put up a table, networking is huge. We all know that. I'm not doing anything that's so spectacular, but it's just that what I pride myself in is the fact that I treat people the way I wanted to be treated. And when I went to those events, and after paying $250 for a table or $100 or whatever it was, I wanted to be heard. And I actually sat there all that time, didn't say anything except to the people that was passing. But sometimes I want that platform makes a difference in getting your message out. And that's what I did. And it worked well in my backyard. And of course, we know when we put our best effort into things, we can only get better, you know. And so now here I am at the Miami Country Club. And this is my second time being there. My first time was in July when I put on my first network luncheon, and it was very successful. And then now I'm doing my first entrepreneur workshop, and this is the first time I will be bringing in multiple speakers, and these speakers are to empower all of the entrepreneurs, because there are times that we lose our motivation. There are times that, you know, we don't like rejection. People say, no, I'm not interested. Some people don't know how to take that rejection. So what happens in especially the multi-level marketing businesses and even the small businesses, people quit. People quit because things are not moving fast enough for them or the way they want them to. But guess what? It's a process. It's a process. So all I do is set a platform for entrepreneurs to come in. We'll have lots of vendors there. We're going to have about 5 different speakers. Lunch is going to be served. The Miami Shores Country Club, their staff is just awesome. And we're going to be treated like kings and queens. And that's why I chose the Miami Shores Country Club. And so that's where I am with the events. And I'm asking everybody to come out and just sometimes we have to step outside of the box and step out there and see what's in store. And it's not one time that I have ever attended an event that I didn't get something good out of it, whether it was something valuable, some nuggets as we call it. So sometimes we have to just go by faith. And that's why I started my events, because I wanted to set a platform for other entrepreneurs to come in and talk about them as well as myself.
So if I have it correct, it's February 27th, which is a Saturday, from 8 to 4. And it's going to be a very upbeat event where you're going to meet a lot of people. Now, we all know that we do business with people we know, like, and trust.
Absolutely.
So when you know somebody and get a feel for who they are, you're more apt to want to do business with them. Exchange information, support each other, lift each other up. So this sounds like it's really going to be exciting. So I'm so happy to have had the opportunity to bring you on. Now, the speakers are going to focus on different things. Tell me a little bit about some of the speakers. I know that you've got someone speaking on social media, right?
Yes. So, well, I have, yes.
And you have several people doing different things to help enrich people's lives, because it's really very overwhelming when you start a business at the beginning, or even if you're looking for a business. There's so many opportunities out there, and you don't know which one is the right one for you. And the best way is to go to your event and learn about some of these opportunities that are out there. So this sounds terrific.
Absolutely, because I should have about, I should have about 15 vendors. And you said opportunity. Like I said, when I set these, when I do these events, it's not just about me, it's about everybody that's there. And it's about those people who are there who really don't know what it is that makes them tick. But because they're there and they may hear a person that's selling a particular product, or they may see a specific vendor or chit chat with that person, and they may want to tap into that person's business venture. Mm-hmm. So the bottom line is, it's not just an event that's good for the entrepreneur. It's an event that's good for those people who are looking for something to do. You know, times are changing, and the jobs in corporate America, you know, people are wanting to work their own businesses because the benefits and all of those things in corporate America is not as great as it used to be back in the day. So people are they're using their own talents just to create their own businesses. And this is awesome. So the bottom line is that when people come, they will have a chance to connect with other individuals. If you have your own business, I'm sharing my platform with you. We're sharing our platform with you. I have speakers coming in. I don't know, many of you maybe know about the Women's Prosperity Networking Group. Nancy Matthews, it's the three sisters, Trish Carr, and then there's Susan Weiner. And I have connected with them. I'm a member of the Chamber of Commerce. I'm a member of the National Association for Professional Women. I'm in quite a few organizations because, like I said, to me, it's about service. And the bottom line is, at the end of the day, people need people. So we need each other. And I post these events so that, like you said, people will be empowered. And social media, LinkedIn is one of the topics that will be, hopefully, when people walk off, those who are not using social media, such as we're doing now, they will know how valuable LinkedIn is to their business. And also, we have someone sharing about elevator speeches. A lot of times, people, when we have events, we say we have 60-second infomercials. It's not an organization that I go to, the luncheons and different things. People introduce themselves, and sometimes people go on and on and on and on, and that's not what an elevator speech is.
It's funny. I'm glad you brought that up because just a few months ago, I was in an event and the people did not know what an elevator speech was. They didn't know. And I had to explain to them that what would you like people to know about you in the time it takes you to enter an elevator, literally enter an elevator and get off on your floor. That would leave them wanting to know more about you.
Right.
Interested, motivated to check out who you are on social media. And it's what you say that makes the difference. I mean, going on and on, everybody goes to sleep and starts thinking about, gee, I better pick up some eggs on the way home on the event. So, you know, knowing these little things and practicing them to the point where you're so comfortable that you could wake somebody up in the middle of the night and say, who are you? And they'd be able to
absolutely. Right. Yeah. And
people are going to get the opportunity to talk about who they are during the introduction, correct?
Well, our vendors basically, they will have their moment of fame, like I call it, their moment of fame. They will be doing the raffles for us. All of them have agreed to, you know, they want to give, and so they are going to be doing the raffles during lunchtime. We're going to give up quite a few raffles during the course of the day, but mainly during lunchtime, and they will give their elevator speeches as well. And then at the end of let me correct you on something. It's not a correction. I did say from 8 to 4. But the event actually starts at 9, but of course we have to sign in, and we want our vendors to be set up, and we want the people as they come in to have access to the vendors. So we did say 8 o'clock. Also, we said it would be over at 4, and that is strictly because at 3 o'clock we will be ending with announcements and with anything that we will open the floor to anyone else who has something, because these people are in business, so we got to give them that time. And so we're actually 3 o'clock closing out, really. And once everybody have given their announcements, because I have organizations who are coming in, you know, to talk about, networking organizations that's coming in to share about what they do, you know, their organizations. So if people want to join up with them. So therefore, after they're done, of course, the floor is open. The event is open for people to connect with the vendors as well during lunchtime and afterwards. So that's why we're really kind of closing out at 3. After we hear what any announcements and so forth.
So can you give us a few details? How do people contact you if they want to talk to you about LegalShield, or if they want to attend the event? Where do they go?
Okay, if they want to talk to me about anything, they can use my contact me on my email address. They can use my email address. And there are no secrets. They can certainly call me. I'm still a people person, and I believe that that verbal is always going to be I call it the human touch. So you can get a lot more said, and it's clearer and understood when we make those phone calls. So my contact number is 786-515-5015, and my email address is unityandservice@gmail.com. Unityandservice.
What's peculiar, Patricia, is the sidebar for some reason is missing, because I wanted to put it in the sidebar and I don't see it. Do you see it? No. So on top of Patricia, there is an email address. So you can copy there, but there's nothing in the sidebar today. For some reason, don't quite know why or understand why, because I'm new at this. I'm being very honest.
I put my email address. Did you see it?
I don't see it in my sidebar. Oh. I don't know why, but possibly it will be on the video. Well, this has been really very interesting, Patricia, because you are really a very strong businesswoman. And I think it's innate, but it can be learned. In you, I believe it's innate. You probably have a fabulous record in your first career as corrections.
Yes.
But you also carry everything that you learned during all those years into your business now.
Absolutely.
And you really do follow through, and you know the importance of being protected legally. So you know that. You've seen it in your career where people are careless and they have traffic violations, they have IRS problems with the IRS, or they just have issues with people. So you've done a wonderful job.
And one thing that really, I never forget, I was at work once and I heard some, we were standing around talking, and one of the guys, officers that I worked with, was saying how they could not access their mother's home when she had passed. And it was all because that was the first time I heard about putting your house in a trust. That was the first time I heard about probate. But as I moved forward and, just kept living in life and learning things, that's when I learned about what probate was, and that you don't have access. The state will take your property if it's not properly set up. So I know for me, LegalShield has been there for me, and with certain things are not covered under the plan, but there's a 25% discount, and that is just one of the things that's not covered under the plan. But other things like you said, IRS audits, wills. A lot of people don't want to do the wills. A lot of people need to do that will. We have living wills. People need to do those living wills, because I have 2 children, and one of my son may want to do something and my daughter may want to do something else, and now you have conflict. So when we don't prepare these wills, what we do is we leave the very thing for our families that we did not want in the first place, and that's conflict. So the bottom line is that we need to do those wills. We need to put things in perspective for our families. And this is where LegalShield comes in. For a small fee, a monthly fee, isn't it worth it? Isn't it worth it to have a peace of mind? Isn't it worth it to be stress-free? Isn't it worth it to just tap the app? Tap the app, tap the app. Call the attorney's office and let them know, and they'll give you an appointment. You don't even have to leave your home. They'll take care of your stuff over the phone, because this is just the way life is. So I do stress that highly, that people protect your legal rights. If we don't know our rights, Myra, we don't have any. We don't have any.
Well, I think it's really a problem in the United States. There are a lot of people who don't know their rights, and we're finally waking up and seeing the light for the first time, and we have to look out for ourselves, because if we don't look out for ourselves, nobody else will.
That's right. That's right.
So, but Patricia, this has been wonderful. And for anybody who doesn't know how to contact her, her email address is right above her head, right there.
Right, yeah.
And I'm right above my head. That's my email address. So if you're interested in being interviewed either on my podcast or on Blab, reach out to me. Patricia, this was wonderful. You were exceptional, as always, giving information to others. And I want to thank you for stopping by and spending time on Never Say Impossible today.
Also, I put my email address for my LegalShield website in case they want to check it out and see, for the small business plans as well as group benefit plans, personal, individual, all of it. We cover it, small fee, worry less, live more. My name is Pat Rogers.
Thank you, Pat Rogers. And thank you out there in cyberspace. I will put the link out there for anybody who wasn't able to watch this live. And until next time, never say impossible.
Thank you, Myra.
You're welcome, sweetheart. I'm trying to turn off the recording. Hello, it's not turning off. Come on. There you go.